Very clever.
So what you're saying is that we shouldn't trust Sorrow as a character.
Never.
Well, thanks to Zed on the last game, when he said that, what armor are you wearing? And I said, I'm not wearing any. The reactions to most of the party is like, okay, how's that happening type of thing. It's like, I'm worried that I'm going to get stabbed in the back to find out how I've got an armor class now. Because Ember was definitely interested.
That's good. I assume something like that.
No spells involved, that's all I'll say.
You could
Okay.
be a monk and have a high constitution,
Could be,
with a
yeah.
high dex and a high wisdom.
Yep.
Lots of different classes by the sounds of things. His first reaction was, "What? You're naked?" Like, no, just because I'm not wearing armor doesn't mean I'm wearing clothes.
Continue.
Episode 17.
Indeed.
Indeed. Indeed.
Oh,
Still think you can finish it by about episode 50.
What armor? What's our XP? Because I have no idea. I've not spent anything in a while.
It's 34, wasn't it?
You get 2 XP per session, effectively. Is it 2 XP per session? Yeah. So if we're on episode 16, you should be on 30 XP. Or 34 XP.
Well, 32 at the end of last period, wasn't it?
32 at the end of last period, yeah.
Okay, so I only spent 22. I need to spend those at some point.
I'll have to go back and look at my original character sheet to see what I've spent.
Well, he spent 17, so 15 to spend. Really should spend those.
Yeah, it's like, have we got this skill? Have we got this skill? It's like, no, but we've got so much experience we could have had by now.
Yeah, and I forgot. I've got a sheet that I can look at in here that tells me exactly what you have.
Oh, right, okay. As in,
So
after we spent points, you can see it.
Yeah, and I can see very quickly where you have nothing. So, for instance, none of you have archaeology, none of you have chemistry, none of you have hypnosis or mechanics.
Ah, so it's like the party sheet that they brought into Fantasy Grounds, where you could see an overview of the group.
Correct.
Yeah, cool.
And they've just done the same in the latest version of Foundry.
Have they? Cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much stuff that has stolen off Fantasy Grounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any skills in our party in D&D that there aren't some points in. Everyone will have something at least, because we've got 2 bards in the party. Yeah. So that's pretty much guaranteed that everyone's got some points in it.
So, like, the only person with geology is Joseph. The only person with interrogation is Alfred. The only person that can do oral is Ralph. History, that is. Oral history.
Yeah. See,
it's the bookish types.
Ones I'd have probably looked at going into are the academic ones, because they're what I'm weak on, but I can't think of a reason why I'd have them. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm kind of spending points as and when on things I've kind of used.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm just not pulling skills out of my ass and saying, "Oh, I'm going to lose," use that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
But thinking of justification as to why you'd have that skill. It's like, why would I have chemistry and biology from being in the army? I might have a little bit of chemistry from explosives or something, but that's about it.
Yeah. See, it's how I justify putting mine up. Is by I've used that, I've gained more experience in that, so I'll give it a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and very much that that approach, Kath, is exactly how I recommend this game. You can keep your points. You can get to a situation where you think, God, it'd be really useful to have that. If you can tell me why you should have it, you can have it. If you find a bomb and you decide you're going to, take it to pieces and see how it's made, I'd allow you to have a point in explosives or a point in chemistry or something.
Well, I've got 2 in explosives already. I haven't got anything in chemistry. Biology, I patched Joseph up a few times, so I'd get a little bit of biology from that. I suppose next time you fall over, I'll just dissect you and work out how it really works.
That's right. What's wrong with my legs?
So I could justify maybe a point in each of them, but that's about it.
Okay. So, by way of a recap, you are in Brichester. Somewhere, well, not somewhere, in the heart of the Severn Valley. You're here to figure out what the EBA were up to. Do you know, I forgot what EBA stands for.
Ethiopian.
No, the Emporium. Damn it! What does EBA stand for?
Got it written down.
Emporium of Bangkok Antiquities.
That's it.
The Emporium of Bangkok Antiquities. You have been slowly but surely trying to piece together bits of information about them. You haven't really found a lot beyond Suleiman paid a visit to the university where he undertook a number of maps and things that he was looking at, all centered on this Deepfall Lake and the Isle beyond Sevenford. Beyond that, you've also got tangled in and been looking for various copies of the Revelations of Glacky, meeting Trisha Piper, who claimed to be writing the 10th
12.
or 12th.
But
12. You discovered that there was a written volume, possibly volume 10, at Yellow Tree Books. You've gathered. Oh, you also met a strange individual who passed on another book, a waterlogged book, to you. So over the last couple of days while you've been here, you've slowly but surely been increasing Ralph's library collection.
And his insanity.
Beyond that, though, everything seems to be pointing to the lake and this isle beyond Sevenford as potential places to go next. You had returned to the Brichester Arms for dinner and drinks and things to figure out your next set of actions. And so we will begin the game with you sat around a table in a corner in Brichester Arms, and it is probably 9 p.m. on the 25th. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do.
So, chaps, what's our what's our next move? I mean, we got very lucky with the yellow book man.
Yeah. Well, you've kind of got a new book from what's her name? The woman.
Victoria,
woman.
was it?
Trisha.
Sorry.
Trisha. Yeah, from Trisha's book. So has that got any clues as to where we should be going if that's the last book in the series that's kind of pointing us towards the right direction? Didn't Suleiman head towards the lakes or something after what he'd actually read? We checked out what he'd read or something, didn't we, from somewhere?
Mm.
It was to do with the Deepfall Lake, and that's where they're going. Well, hopefully they're going the wrong place.
Well, I believe you've got an idea that they were scouting both the Isle beyond Sevenford as well as Deepfall Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Did we go to the church?
You haven't been to the church.
That's a place to check as well. It's only down the road, isn't it? In the high street.
I think that was the next thing we were planning, wasn't it? So it's local.
Hmm.
I remember it's got something to do with the Templars, but that's all I can remember. What it's got to do with the revelations and these things, I don't know. Can't remember the link from Templars, what we're investigating. Don't think I made notes on that actually.
And wasn't there that area that the cultists from the 1800s set up those houses?
Yep.
Ralph, how are you getting on with reading those books? You found anything interesting?
I'm not started yet. I need to settle down. Well, which one are we starting with?
Safest, I probably think, would be the new one. The Waterlog one is probably going to be a little bit disturbing.
Well,
from what you thought of it.
Yeah, they seem to want you to have it, which is a little bit disconcerting. Either they think you can find something that they couldn't find, or I don't know. Why would they just give you a random book?
That's why I wanted chemistry and biology, wasn't it? To examine the goop that
Oh,
was
the
on the
goop.
books.
But there is a university next door. We can, we can probably take it there.
Now we've bought that book for the custodian of the library.
Yeah.
We should be able to get a lot of help at the university, I would have thought.
Mm.
Yeah. Maybe go there tomorrow. Hand that over. Do a bit of research there, and then maybe go to the church.
Sounds good.
Well, I could spend, after dinner, I could spend a few hours starting to leaf through this 12th book, if you want.
Would you like us to stay with you in your room while you do it?
I should be fine. Just listen for me falling over.
Or screaming.
or slithering under the door.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the other two?
Well, I think Joseph would be getting as much sleep as possible, but also taking stock of his possessions, making sure his money's fine.
Okay.
Is this that night? Remember?
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
night time.
Right. After that encounter with whatever the hell it was that managed to vanish on us, I probably set up a few alarm type things like strings tied around bottles that'll get knocked over or something like that, and
Okay.
keep up later than I normally would, keeping watch in case something else comes back. And once I'm satisfied that everything seems to be okay, I'll probably go to sleep.
Okay. Okay. Let's start with Ralph. Are you going to skim the book or just pore over the book? If you choose to pore over the book, you're probably not going to get a lot of sleep tonight.
Oh, I'll start with skimming. Like I say, it's only starting it. I wouldn't say I'd get a lot of it done. I'm just going through it, and I'll be taking notes, sort of like, you know, section by section. You know what I mean? So I can then start pouring over when I've got more time.
Okay. So first and foremost, I needed a stability 4 test from you, please.
Nicely done.
Lucky bastard. Okay.
I always roll shit on them, you know.
The key thing that you note in this book it seems to have a futuristic tone to it, but also the thing that you keep coming across is the word or the name Y Golonak. So you pronounce it.
Yeah, we come across that name already.
That name. It seems to be a theme throughout volume 12.
I misspelled it.
Yeah, I put a K instead of a C at the end.
Yeah, same.
The other thing that you note is whenever the text turns away from E. Golonak or Y Golonak or however you pronounce it, the language seems to take on the quality of an old man losing the track of his thought, then sharpening and thrusting back towards the heart of the matter, which always seems to center around this Y Golonak. Or E. Golonak. Or Golonak with a silent Y. I don't know how you pronounce it.
But it loses focus when it's not on that subject matter.
Yes.
But his name, I remember the reference to him was scary. Even the minions of Cthulhu dare not mention his name. It's like, yeah, that's a bit worrying.
We've got combat music on as well, by the way.
Oh, tension. I'll do this one then. Hang on. Any better? Probably not. Have a look. Let's just play this one. Go back to the original music. So there's not a lot else you can get. I mean, you can pick out the odd name. You can pick out Glacky. You can pick out Cthulhu. You even pick out Shub-Niggurath. Daoloth? Daoloth?
Well, I'll make notes of these and then.
But in order to get anything out of it, you're really going to have to really spend some time reading through it.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, I'm not looking at getting it done through the night. This is just like I say, prelim.
Yeah. So skimming
so-
gives you no benefit.
Yeah, that's fine.
But there was a failure penalty if you have failed your stability test. And it would have been interesting role playing it.
Just got to pass these books over and spend all those 15 points in other skills.
Yeah, give those books to Joseph and see what he does with them.
Yep.
Okay.
It's awfully cold in this room.
Can you give me a stability 4 test as well, please? No, not Ralph. You've just done it. Alfred. Sorry.
Oh, right.
I'm looking at Catherall, and I said Ralph. Okay, we'll come back to that in a second.
Okay.
Joseph, you're just getting shut eye, are you?
Yeah, I've gone through my belongings and I'm just literally yeah.
Okay. Nothing's missing, everything's where it is. There's no sign of Italians stealing passports. All good. You sleep like a baby, undisturbed. Alfred.
In his nappy.
Yeah.
You wake up about 2 a.m. in the morning with an urge to draw. But you have passed your stability test, so you can shake it off. Or you can succumb to the urge and draw.
I'll succumb to it.
Okay. Now, what are you going to use to draw? Because you're a photographer. You're not an artist as such.
I have got a notebook, though, from...
You do.
So I shall use that.
Okay.
Chop off the tip of your finger, then you can do it on the wall.
I was gonna say, good grief! Use blood and put it all over the wall, man.
Do I get to choose whose blood?
You do.
Are you sure you want me to follow that suggestion?
Oh, there are loads of other patrons in this place.
So, I had it in my notes a minute ago, and I think I've just lost it again. You get the urge to create... out of the blue, you create a masterpiece.
I don't think I've got any skill in drawing.
No, and that's the point. Is by the time you finish, it will take you a couple 3 hours. But you have sketched a somewhat horrific, but rather, well, in your opinion at least, an actual masterpiece. Something that's come out of your fevered, dreamlike imagination. It is a it is a strange archway. The archway is framed perfectly. You can see the grains of the stones that have been used to block up this archway. And in the center of this arch, because you've been working like with a pencil or something, you've quite heavily shaded a single block of stone, almost but not quite cube shaped. And it has an icon on the front of the stone. An icon that you have not seen before. It is. Have a look. Well, the icon that you have drawn, you have no idea what it is. It's just very strange.
Okay. Once I've finished sketching it and studying it, I'll head over to Ralph's room and see if there's still light under the door.
It's probably 4 a.m. in the morning. Ralph, is there still light under the door? You're
muted.
Yeah, not at 4 a.m. I was hoping to, because
right,
we were having dinner and it was, did you say it was 9 p.m. by the time we got back?
Yeah,
so I was hoping to...
well, by the time you finished dinner, you were sort of sat about 9 o'clock in the lounge of the pub.
Yeah, so I'd have gone upstairs at about 10, done 2 or 3 hours, and then headed to, sleep at 1.
Okay, I'll head back to my room.
Okay. I'd say it's a masterpiece. Drawing an arch is probably not. It doesn't strike you as being a masterpiece, but it's the detail.
Yeah.
To the point where you think it's almost as if you were like looking at the arch when you drew it.
Okay, I'll put it in with my belongings.
Okay.
And try and get back to sleep.
Okay.
And show it to the others in the morning.
Well, sleep comes to you easily. In fact, it comes to you easier after drawing than it perhaps was prior to doing the drawing. And each of you wake sometime between sort of 6:30, 7:30. Your usual breakfast is 8 o'clock. And at 8 o'clock, you kind of make your way downstairs and are greeting one another as you sit and take your places round the table for breakfast.
I shall take the drawing with me.
Okay. Bear in mind, it's a Saturday. The university may not be open.
Yeah.
Okay, you take the drawing with you.
I had a really weird night. What about you two?
Slept like a baby. Very refreshed.
For me, it was, one of the more standard nights I've had. Why was yours weird?
I woke up in the middle of the night with this urge to draw. I don't draw. It's not one of my talents or strengths at all. And it kind of took over. Do something, and I'll produce the paper. And then tried to see if you were still awake, Rolf. When I saw you weren't, I went back to bed and went to sleep, and I slept fine after that. But I woke up with this urge to draw this. I don't know why or what it means.
I would guess that somebody somewhere wanted you to get that down on paper.
Yeah. Who or what or and how?
Maybe that's
Does
strange Lady Trisha.
does this mean anything to you? Especially that symbol that
I'll
I never seen before.
stand behind him and look at it over his shoulder.
Oh, you recognize this almost immediately. It is a very rare symbol. It certainly has occult connotations. The one that you're looking at is another icon, rune for protection. This one, though, is a protection against demons.
I won't say it out loud since I was sat in the Latin having breakfast. I will just write on the paper next to it, protection from demons, and just
And
put
again,
a little.
it's a very, very, very well drawn archway. The archway looks to be 20 or 30 years older than the brickwork that has been placed inside the arch.
Is it from a particular culture?
English.
Oh, it's English, right?
Yeah. Possibly 1800s. The brickwork maybe a little bit later. The stone in the middle of this blocked up archway is the same. It's been shaded in slightly darker, and then a really heavy imprint of this rune has been drawn in the center of this brick. Calls itself, when you look at this archway, that's the thing that grabs your attention.
Could this be the cell door to the prison? Where the prisoner is?
From your perspective, that is an interesting hypothesis.
It's an archway without a door.
It is an archway.
So it's an archway.
It is an actual arch.
Archway, right?
You can see the arch, kind of, the frame of the arch, if you like, in stone. But then a slightly more modern brick has been placed inside the archway to block it, with this black thing, whatever it is, in the very center.
Yeah.
What's the archway made out of? Can I tell? Oh, yeah. no other clues in the drawing as to where it is, like background scenery type thing, or water, or
Cellar. Underground.
okay.
Beyond that,
Yeah, because there's GPS coordinates in the bottom right hand
yeah,
corner.
beyond that,
Really.
it's really hard to work out what direction.
Just out of interest, this symbol, is it from a particular culture?
Arabic. Which feels very out of place for the 1930s.
How the hell am I supposed to track it down? Um, any other symbols on it?
Nope.
Whether it might be under the church or something. I was wondering whether there was going to be any Templar symbols or anything like that on it. So I would, locally, I'd say church, mental home, or library, or possibly even under the island or something. There's a building on the island. Do we know whether anything about any buildings on the isle?
Nope.
It's been mentioned.
The only thing you know is that spending a night on the island caused somebody to go crazy who then killed
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
But he was a child, though, wasn't he?
He was a child.
The mind plays strange tricks when you're alone.
Certainly, this is an actual symbol that exists, and I've drawn it without ever seeing it before. There's something weird about this picture.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is you've never seen the symbol before.
Yeah.
It doesn't represent. It doesn't. It's nothing like any of the symbols that you've already found on your journey so far. It is different.
Any idea what it could mean? 'Cause this doesn't look familiar from anything you've read, because I've never come across it. So why I drew it, I don't know.
I'm going to. I don't think the book that this symbol is definitely referenced in is likely to be a book that Ralph has read.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
So you don't know any more context other than you've seen sort of references to
Symbol.
this symbol being a symbol that has been used as a protection from demons.
Sadly, where I saw this symbol, it was a completely text-based article. There's no pictures, no clues.
Yeah.
Did it mention anywhere or anything in particular that similar to this?
No, it's a symbol that's Arabic in source, but it's used worldwide. So
So I've managed to have a weird dream, draw something that's supposed to help us, but is useless because we've got no context. Sounds about right for me.
Well, we may get more. We may get more context.
Yeah, we may stumble across
get-
this and
Get yourself a decent pad and some pens and keep them by your bedside. I'd say.
yeah. What's slightly concerning me is I drew this and I've got no talent at drawing. I caught whatever the young lady has, but she's written a book. Am I going to start going get locked up? Or...
I would say that is how things normally start. How did you feel when you did this?
It woke you up, and when you woke up, you immediately had this urge to draw. It wasn't so strong that you felt you had to draw. You could have ignored it, turned over, and gone back to sleep.
Yeah. I didn't know where it came from, sir. The feeling, curiosity as much as anything else. I wanted to see why I wanted to scribble. The fact that it came out looking as clear as it has, that stunned me as much as the fact that it's an image I've never seen.
I think in skimming the book last night, I saw a specific pattern of moments of focus, and then absolute garbage. It was only when the young lady was putting details down around a certain entity that the focus came. So I think were it to be like you could draw 30 times after this and it'd be stickmen and
Sounds about my normal talent.
And then all of a sudden you may get another piece which would be incomplete focus, or Joseph may, or I may. I think this was maybe you borrowed.
Do you have
for the time guided?
Do you have a full recollection of your memories while drawing this thing, or is it like when you sleepwalking, where you're conscious and then there's nothing, and then you wake up down the hallway?
Do I actually remember drawing it then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was conscious.
You were definitely conscious. You remember you were definitely moving your hand. You don't know where the image came from, but you were 100% there in the moment.
But you drew something that you don't recall ever seeing it. It wasn't in your mind at the time, and you can't draw.
Yeah, it came to me. Just like doodling shapes type things, but my shapes actually have.
So it's almost it's almost like in an instant putting a photograph on a page. But
kind of.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I was clear enough of mind to think that Ralph might be able to identify it. So it wasn't like I then went straight back to sleep again, and then woke up and found it. I was aware. I just woke up after sleeping for a couple of hours and drew it. Maybe we should all get some pads and
Yeah.
just in case.
It is very good work, though.
It was protection. I might actually want to. Well, I'm not good enough at drawing to replicate it again, but that thing on all of our doors might be handy.
No, look at it. It's very. I know a lot. I've seen a few paintings in my time and drawings, and that's quite good. But yes, as to your comment, yes, definitely we should all have pads. I'm assuming Ralph will already have a pad in his room anyway. But I certainly will get one.
As long as I don't start drawing one that attracts, and I'll point at the word demon. Start drawing those, then I'm in trouble.
Well, maybe this has been given to you, and I'm going to go out on a limb here. Maybe it's a little bit of help from something, or not for something, so someone. Maybe it is Trisha reaching out.
Could be.
And if this is what you think it is,
That's first thing that comes to mind. If it's warning, it is. If it's a protection, is it acting like a lock to stop them escaping, or
keeping something in or keeping something out?
yeah? Is the prisoner one of these, or is he something different? So is it protecting the prisoner from these, or
let's open it and find out.
that's a golem? Is he on the side of good against these creatures if they're scared of him, or is he scared just nastier than them, so they're scared of him?
I'm going to say no. He's not good.
I'm guessing not, but
in the context of what we got before, where it says even the minions of Cthulhu fears, you know, Catholic.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, would they fear God? So he could be on God's side, or is he the other side that scares them and he's much nastier than them? In which case, we really don't want to be involved in this. Only time will tell, I guess.
What were the plans for today? Are we going to the church? Did we say?
Yeah, it was church and possibly
church and
the library university.
Drop your books off and see if we can find anything more from their gratitude, giving us access to more things.
Yeah, check out the slime. But as you say, being a Saturday is going to be a bit.
Yeah, church is probably the better option today.
But if it's an old Templar church, we want to be looking around for those symbols as well.
Yeah, take my camera binoculars. With the high up on the church, we wouldn't need the binoculars. Notepad, just in case something happens in the middle of the. I'm going to suddenly start walking along and then freezing and start sketching. Coincidence is the books that I'm reading at the moment, that's one of his talents. He just randomly sketches things.
Well, get our stuff together and let's finish up breakfast and then head out to the church.
I'll take a photo of my drawing as well, so that I've got it.
I was going to
backup
suggest that.
in
Yeah.
just in case something steals it, destroys it, or something. Might have a backup.
Yeah, I'll take a picture as well, just in case yours one of them.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So the church then, yeah?
Yep.
It's not difficult to find. It sits very much proud in a prominent place in the high street.
It's not a
Easy
ruin.
Nope.
Okay.
Easy enough to find as it towers above the houses nearby. Sits in its own grounds. As you look at it from the front on, a couple of large trees grow out the front. It's a large kind of grassed area. There are a set of stairs that lead up through the tower and, you believe, into the church itself. To the right-hand side, a metal fence, which is as you would kind of expect, sort of wrought iron on top of a wall, quite old, but certainly not as old as the church itself. There doesn't appear to be any obvious way into the graveyard, the churchyard, other than most likely through the church itself.
How high is the fence or wall around it?
6 foot, maybe 3 foot worth of 4 foot worth of stonework and a couple of foot worth of metal on top, rusted for the most part.
It's spiky.
Like climbable, at least.
Climbable, but it is also in plain view of traffic going round it and that kind of stuff.
Let's just go in the main door.
However, from this angle, I'll have a quick look at it through the binoculars. See if I can start at the top, just work down and see if I can see any symbols or anything that looks familiar or...
No, nothing that looks familiar to you at this point. Everything just looks churchy.
Yeah, no toad-like shapes hiding in among the gargoyles type things or anything like that. Okay.
No. Heading up to the front of the church, the stairs themselves are covered in a slimy green moss, flanked by large dark trees with bows of ink green leaves that seem burdened. Well, they wouldn't be actually, because it's January. So they're quite thick bows of the trees. You can see into the churchyard as you climb the stairs. You can see a number of tottering gravestones the grass in between the stones does not seem to be in great condition from where you are. It seems to be a mixture of fungus, moss strewn, damp, wet, yucky grass.
I'm going to keep walking up the steps and just before I
Like
enter the.
It's like getting to this. Like, is it because it's not getting enough light? It's eclipsed by trees and things, or is it getting enough light? It's just unnatural.
It's hard to tell. It's a Saturday in January. It's a bit overcast, threatening to snow.
And the building and trees aren't close enough to overshadow it, type of thing.
Particularly, I mean, parts of the church could do, but it's hard to say if it's that.
Okay.
As you head on up, sort of through the doors, two huge oak doors with a single door in the oak door which stands open, gesturing, like welcoming you in. There's a board just by the side of the entrance with order of service on it. Mass would be tomorrow morning. Heading through the door and into sort of the ground floor of the church steeple. Ralph, Joseph, you both kind of spot it at the same time and kind of look at each other. The floor of this kind of foyer entranceway, kind of white stone, faded, graying in places, especially where people walk over it. There is a dark stone cross inlaid in the floor. But the thing that catches your attention is it's the wrong way round. It's clearly been recut in order to reverse the direction of the cross.
That's never a good sign.
No.
Now, here's the thing. I'm correct in saying that, Alfred, you are religious, aren't you?
Yep.
The crossing of the threshold in a Christian church is the passing from a world wounded by sin to the world of salvation. Reversing the threshold would symbolize a departure from this world.
Yeah, I've got my pillars of sanity is faith in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Hope for what life has in store for you. Yeah, I've got a little. I only got 1 point in theology, but
That's all. You just needed to be. You just needed to have
Yeah.
something in theology.
okay. So
This
it
is not a
symbolizes that.
Catholic church, though. This is a Church of England church.
Right.
You don't know enough to know whether.
It's the same.
So the cross's direction is wrong from a Catholic's perspective. You don't know whether it's right from a Church of England perspective.
Yeah.
But both Joseph and Ralph realise that it's actually been recut. So in my head, you would walk in and the cross of the church would be furthest away from the front door. So in my head, it's been turned around so the cross of the church is at the closest to the front door, and you step over that as you walk further in.
So it would be the right way around if you're looking from the altar.
Correct, yes.
Right.
Hanging from the ceiling, a tightly packed circle of bizarrely twisted statuary, half-melted figures reached down towards those passing through the lobby beneath them.
They have any religious significance that I know of?
Can't
Doesn't sound familiar
tell
to me.
from here. You would need to try and find the stairs that would take you up to the next level. You think if you were up there, you might be able to get a better look at the statues.
I'll have a quick look through the binoculars, but it could be a perspective type thing as well. I will look for stairs as well, but I'll have a quick look through binoculars.
You can't. So from here, you can't see that detail, but
That's fine.
there doesn't seem to be. I mean, it's really hard to work out what they are.
Yeah. Back then,
Melted
you couldn't focus
angels?
very well.
Melted angels that are reaching down, or blessing, melted Jesus. It's you don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
They're just odd. Okay.
Yeah. I'll look around for any stairs or arteries that might have stairs going up. Looking around, is there a balcony type thing around?
There is, yes.
Okay. We'll see if we can see a way up.
And okay. As you so as you pass further through the door, it might be easy to just take a copy of this and post it in the thing. I'll tell you what, let's take a break. And then I can cut this out and post it in here so you can see a map of the inside of the church. Yeah. Okay, so 10 minutes back at 22.
Yep.
Zed, can we call it at 10 tonight, if possible?
We can absolutely call it a 10.
Fantastic. I'm absolutely knackered.
I will try and find a point where we can wrap it. So it might be a little bit earlier than 10. We'll just see how we get on.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you. I've got a trapped nerve. I've got a tumour in my neck it's just benign. But every now and again it pinches a nerve that goes all the way down my shoulder and down my right arm. And it's, yeah, I call him Tony. No, it's benign, yeah. No, it's literally on my vertebrae, my T. Yeah, it's been. Exactly, yes, yeah.
And you know, as opposed to being paralysed, you know,
It doesn't work, yeah. As I shuffle down the street.
Didn't get that. Could you try again?
You could always, you know, you could always be a full-time streamer.
Yeah, well, that's true. I always said if I lost the use of one arm, I'd just drop a pencil to my forehead and just bang the keyboard.
Yeah.
It works.
So I don't want to see Medi full-time streaming.
Yay!
Some of the things that he gets up to, I really don't think I want to see.
Live action bathroom break.
Exactly. That type of thing I do not want to see.
Anyone popped into a second, I don't know why.
Yeah, I noticed that. Probably something to do with Elite. He's been posting something to do with it.
Do you know, I must jump on that, but I find when I get home from work, I've got that much to do on other things, and then I go, go to Elite, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to fly through space, it's going to put me to sleep.
Well, until I finish these books, games aren't really happening.
Right.
It's literally that bad. It's like I get home and start reading, and then go to sleep, get up for work.
That's not bad. That's good, right?
Mm.
Having a break from playing PC games and stuff is always good.
Yeah.
You know,
But
being you know, going to work, getting up, going to work, coming home, PC on, playing till midnight, going back to bed, and rinse and repeat every day.
Yeah.
I know we do it. We all do it, but it's not. I find
It's not healthy.
No.
It's like Sunday. I played on and off Sunday morning and early afternoon until I went to take my son to uni. I got to admit, by the time it was time to take him to uni, I was actually glad of the break. And in fact, in the afternoon, I was prepping for our weekend away this weekend, because it's like 3-4 hours of constant gaming on the PC, and I've had enough. I just need to walk away and do something else for a couple of hours.
Yeah, I must admit, gone are the days where I used to stay up till God knows what time in the morning, because it's just, yeah. Now sometimes I get home and I go, what should I do? And I'll go, I'll try this, and no, what's that? And by the time I've chosen something, it's late.
Yeah.
And you're tired. Because
Yeah.
we're all old people now, aren't we? We're all old.
Yes.
old.
Well, this weekend, the only gaming I played was that Monster Hunter last night.
Right.
That was all I did. The rest of it was reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to.
When a book grabs you like that and you read like that, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I'll have to try and find these books and get these books and have a go.
Yeah. Well, Kindle Unlimited, I go through books like nobody's business. I've read so many recently.
All right. You should have now showing an interior church map.
Yeah.
So you've come into where it's marked 5. The further you go in towards sort of the central part of the church, the sanctuary, there are a set of stairs either side which seem to lead further up. or you can continue on downstairs if you wish.
I'm gonna go up because I want to see a different angle on these statues up top.
Okay.
Just to try and get my head around what they are. Otherwise, it's gonna distract me while I'm down at the bottom.
Be looking for symbols on walls and things like that as well, over doorways and.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. One moment, caller.
So these statues are melted. Are they?
They look melted.
They look melted. It used by architecture, if possible. Would I be able to tell if it's been done on the original design or later?
Just give me one sec. That's 4 of these bloody things. The statues are essentially they are sort of can't ping, can I? Can you ping on this one? No, because they're images, they're not maps. So where it says number 9, so the 2 front number 9s is where these statues that you saw kind of existed. Looking at the first one, it looks like. Ooh, I think I've shared. Have I shared everything with you on this? I have, haven't I?
No, that's all I've got. The picture. Oh,
All right.
that's not it.
Okay, that's the one on the left-hand side,
Okay, so it's
and that's the one on the right-hand side.
okay.
So it's more, rather than melting in a sense, it's more sort of like it's been like waterborne.
Or yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. Now you're able to kind of see it from a distance. It looked melted.
Yeah.
But now you can see it's not. Give me 1 second. I'm frantically trying to catch up with myself. I hadn't realised there are 4 of these statues.
Yeah, there's 2 at the front, 2 at the back. I shall take photos of them anyway.
Okay. The other thing is the signature.
It's fee perch. Interesting design for the CH.
It's almost like a sword going through, isn't it?
Yeah, or a brand. Rotatus is almost like an anchor. Yeah, I've got one of those weird heads where I can see things from all angles just by looking at it straight on.
Yeah.
Upside down, rising, back to front makes no difference to me.
It's almost like a Knights Templar symbol.
You can see, looking down from where you are, you can see in area 6. So you're up on area 9 and looking down into sort of area 6 below you, you can see that there are the arch keystones have a large crystal built into the center of them. You can see this crystal very clearly from where you are.
Which isn't something you see every day in a church.
It's definitely not something you see every day in the church.
Is it
The other,
clear?
thing, the other thing that grabs your attention from up here is it doesn't look well kept down below.
Are the crystals clear? Like they could allow light through them.
It looks. I mean, they're whitish crystal.
Okay.
So if you could climb up to them from the ground floor, you might well be able to shine a light into them.
I'll examine them from upstairs with the binoculars, see if I can see through them or anything like that.
You can't see through them with the binoculars, no.
It is a shame laser pointers what it's out about now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do they align with anything like windows or torches or?
Don't appear to.
And there's no sort of skylights.
Okay. They all identical.
Yeah.
I'll take photos of one of them.
Are there just 4 of them?
4
Keystones.
Crystals.
Yeah, there are 4 in the keystone. Look how many arches there are. It doesn't tell me how many arches. It just says each of the arch keystones have a crystal built into the center of them. So I'm guessing you've got, if you look at, as you come in from 5 into 6, there are 4 square
Crosses.
black squares, not crosses, black squares.
Yeah.
And then there are 2 light coloured squares.
Yeah.
So I think those are the crystals.
Right.
2
Okay.
crystals.
It's not something where you'd open. They're higher than the door, aren't they? It's not where you open the front door, the light shines through into the crystals and then onto the altar at the other end.
Here too, no.
Is there anybody in the church?
It is quiet. There does not appear to be anybody in here.
Saying that it's not being well maintained. Is it clean or dust covered floor?
Where you are, because you're up in sort of area 9 at the moment,
Yeah.
either side, it is dusty.
Right.
It is gloomy down in area 6. One of the reasons is because there are shutters have been placed across the windows.
Just on the outside, I assume?
Correct.
So we could, in the stained glass, we can see what the picture is, but it's not very clear because the shutters are.
It's also not very clear from where you are because you're too high up.
Yeah.
to be able to really get a good view, because there are little bits of light leaking in through the stained windows here and there, but not much.
Right. Okay, I'll see if I can walk the whole of the upstairs. See if there's any symbols or anything else that catches my eye that looks out of place or unusual.
Okay.
And take a photo of each of the statues as I come across them.
Yeah. So the entrance side is the only place, this side. If you come up the northern set of steps, if you look at the map, you assume the top is north.
Yep.
For ease. And you can come through into area 11. This is a this kind of puts you sort of just below where the spire begins on the church. It is like a stone area. There is a fireplace. Ash in the fire. There is ash in the fireplace. There is a portrait of an Anglican priest with a slight smile, confident blue eyes, a small brass plaque underneath near the fireplace.
Okay, I'll go over and read what's on the plaque.
It says Alexander Copeland. There is, in the ceiling, there is an egress. There are curious dark stains around the edge of the stonework of this egress. As you kind of flash your torch up there and take a look.
Yeah. I'll climb up and see if I can see what it is.
There's no easy way to climb up.
Oh.
It's sort of in the center of the ceiling.
Okay, so there's no ladder leading up.
To give you a boost.
How high up is it?
It is 15 or so feet.
Oh.
Yeah.
But if
your boots have to be really strong.
If you keep coming to the south, where the southern staircase is, you'll see that there is a small indentation marked on the map that just to the sort of the southwest of where it says
12, yeah.
Is a spiral staircase that goes further up into the spire.
Ah, okay. I'll start heading up there and see if it passes near or over these markings. See if there's another way out type thing, or to get a better look.
So you want to go up to see if you can figure out what these markings are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, actually, see if I can see what the markings are with the binoculars, or is it too dark in here?
Too dark.
Right, okay. Then, yeah, I'll try that.
In the binoculars, it just looks like
blurred,
black, just darker stone, but like a stain.
Yeah.
Maybe damp, that kind of thing,
Okay.
So you're going to continue going up to the next,
Yeah.
the next part of the steep?
Do you have your torch on you?
I have got a torch, yes. I had a torch, I'm sure I did. Yeah,
if it's dark up here, I'll have my flashlight out as well.
Yeah, I've got a flashlight.
Well, heading up to the next tier of the steeple, you come out into area 14. To the south is another, well, the steeple stairs open out into area 13 according to this. Doesn't really look like it on the map, but they do. Sort of a balcony level lead through small circular chamber of old stone. There is another staircase winding up, so it continues upwards at this point to area 16.
How's the floor here? Still dusty? No sign of being
Still
any
dusty.
recent
Not,
use?
not recently.
Any sign of more of this dark stone or these dark markings or anything?
Where are you searching?
The floor and walls around it.
Which chamber, 13 or 14?
I'm trying to see
14.
where.
So 14 would correspond with where the stains could be seen
Yeah.
from 11.
There then.
Okay. This is an odd room. There is a circular trapdoor of stone in the floor, surrounded by a hump of raised stone. To the northeast, northeast, sort of corner of this chamber, a curious mechanism sits. You can see a number of dark stains all around the trapdoor.
Shine the lights on them.
They're just dark stains. Could be damp,
Dry blood.
could be blood.
I'll get a knife out and see if it flakes up. See if it's something part of the stone or whether it's something on the stone that's dried.
It is something on the stone that's dried.
Yeah, I'll pick a bit up on the knife and then shine the knife on it so I can get a closer look.
Indeterminate as to whether it is blood or oil or
That's or something. Yeah.
something else.
I need to start carrying around little bags to start putting these things into. You're muted.
Sorry, yeah. I'm going to look straight up from where this is. Is there a stain above it again?
No. But what you do notice is that the stonework of the floor above you is of a more modern architecture and more modern stonework.
So it looks like it's either been extended or renovated.
Yeah.
So this trapdoor, does it look like it opens? Or
Yes,
that
it
they
does.
Okay, so they've not plugged it and it used to be there and then they built above it.
Do you want a hand?
Just wondering. Yeah, sod it. I'll try and open it.
Okay. How?
I'm just looking to see what I actually have that might help. Are there any ring pulls or
The only thing in here is a mechanism with a piece of sliding brass on it.
does it look to be attached to this at all?
Possibly.
Okay, I'll take a look at the mechanism. I'll study it closely with my magnifying glass, see if I can work out how it works.
Okay. Whatever the mechanism is attached to, it goes into and down the wall. So it's not immediately obvious if it operates this trapdoor or not.
And how old does this thing look? Is it modern design or
not as old as the church, but older than the stonework above?
right?
And it does still have some old kind of grease on it.
I'll give it a go.
Just before you do, everything around here is dusty. So is this mechanism dusty as well, or
Yes.
no? It's just I was hoping to see some signs of maybe dust being moved off, so you could see where to touch things.
I think my curiosity is going to cause a party wipe now. Let's have a look.
Okay.
Actually,
You
give
don't
it a go.
have mechanic, do you?
Nobody has mechanics, I don't think. You said this morning, earlier on.
Did say earlier
Oh.
on.
I have mechanics, but I put no points in it.
I can drive, so I might have.
I would argue that
Well, it's on my sheet anyway.
that Joseph and Alfred can both put points into mechanic because of your backgrounds. Ralph, less so.
I'll put something into it. How many points have I got? Oh, I've got 10 points to
I
spend.
suppose my driving and my piloting, I'd probably do the same.
Yeah. Mechanic.
The other thing, whilst he's doing this, Ralph, are you up in Area 14 with the group as well?
Yes, yeah, I've come through.
Okay. This, both east and west are open windows. There's no glass in them. They're just open holes looking out onto the tiles above the sort of the foyer area below.
Oh, interesting. I'll have a look out there then.
Well, what's really interesting is the fact that I'll come back to the stone, the trapdoor in a minute.
Yep.
Every tile on the roof that you can see in both directions, east and west, have been imprinted with what on initial viewing is a Star of David, along with other strange runes. But as you... Well, let me ask you a question. Do you want to spend any points in either... you've got Cthulhu Mythos, though, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
You do. Okay. So your occult training tells you that the Star of David is actually a Kabbalistic depiction of the Seal of Solomon, or at least seemingly derived from that. Symbols within each chamber of the star appear to be derived from John Dee's Sigillum Dei, or Seal of God's Truth. Then the hairs stand on the back of your neck as you realize that the symbolism is an invocation of Yog Sothoth. The symbols strengthen his flesh.
Sorry, what now?
The symbolism, this combination of this Kabbalistic depiction of the Seal of Solomon with a number of other symbols within each of the chamber of the star, is an invocation of Yog Sothoth. The symbols mean strengthen his flesh.
You just say there was arches with no glass in for windows, so you could just jump out them.
Yeah, it might do. Throw himself to the ground.
Yeah. Wibble!
In an
I
act
can
of
fly!
gripping desperation. When you pull and push on the brass bar, the circular trapdoor opens like an iris. almost silently.
And it's stone.
And it's stone.
Wow.
Does that let any light in or anything?
Doesn't let any light in.
Okay.
But
I'm
you can see
picture of
right
it's
down.
opening and
You
something
can
light
now
comes.
see right down into the portrait chamber below.
Well, what's the point of it?
Look up above it. Is anything opened above it as well, or does it look like
Nothing's
there's another
opened above.
trapdoor?
No.
Just keep it open, and I'm going to go back downstairs
Okay.
and have a look from the bottom of it.
Okay. You can see up to the new stonework. Above the area where Ralph and Alfred are.
Hmm.
What was up
So what?
there before the new stonework? I wonder.
There's no other trapdoor below this trapdoor.
Nope.
Yeah. Maybe it's an old defence thing where they can pour boiling pitch down or something if somebody's invading the church.
I'm wondering whether the new brickwork above us has either bricked something in, so if we go up, we'll see something in that chamber, or is replaced something that was up there. Say a lens or something that would shine down on the crystals or
Yeah.
something.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of work to have a toilet hole in a roof.
Yeah.
And it's very, very technologically well done, isn't it? It's so quiet for stone.
Yeah.
Hmm. Shall we go up then?
Yeah.
There's no way to shout. If we go to number 15, can we still see down into the main chamber?
If you go up to 15 onto the actual stone, onto the actual tiled roof.
Oh, is that a tiled roof? Sorry, ignore that completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Oh, is that
I'll
where
go.
that's where the symbols are, isn't it? Sorry.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I'll go 16. See if there's anything in that room corresponding with this hole below us.
It's here that the stonework transitions from old medieval stonework to a new spire. A number of symbols have been carved into the stone. They are old and age worn. Do you have architecture?
I don't.
I do.
He does.
Okay, so you would. Oh, theology though.
Yeah, I've got theology.
The interesting thing to you about these symbols is you can see the Templar cross and the Grand Seal of Huda Pains. They are definitely Knight Templar symbols. These symbols exist in the old medieval stonework, not the newer,
Okay.
more contemporary stonework.
Get the magnifying glass out and start examining them to see if there's anything unusual? Like they move or
They don't move. They're just carved in that old stone. They've been there a long time. Anybody else going up there?
Is it the Templar Cross where it's the long line with the short line and the other to more like a sword, or is it the?
Hold on.
Yeah.
It's more. Hold on.
Well, that SV Birch, you see, the last bit with the long line with the two lines going through is a Templar Cross.
Yeah, let's have a look at that for a second. I haven't looked at that in detail. So no, it's not like that. It's more. Let's see.
More like an Iron Cross type thing.
Hold on. I can do this quite quickly, I think.
there's lots of different Templar cross images, which is how I picture them. It's a symbol cross, but
No, it changed over time when they went into hiding and things like that. Out of character.
yeah.
Obviously, it is not red.
Yeah, that's the one I was picturing
Yeah,
in my head.
traditional.
Yeah. And let me just see if I can find. And the other symbol looks a little bit like that.
Ooh.
The symbols would have appeared at the top of the original tower, the spire above being added at a much later date. Ralph, you think it's somewhere late 18th or early 19th century compared to the rest of the church. So you're kind of stood at where the church top would have been, one floor above that irised trapdoor. Oh dear, sorry.
So the floor that we're on is the old church. The floor is still the same.
The old church, and part of it is the newer church heading further up into the steeple.
Yeah, but the floor itself is the old church.
Correct.
So there's So I was just checking that there wasn't another hole in here that's been filled in with newer.
Not that you can see.
So from up here, you wouldn't have still see. Pardon me. You still wouldn't have seen the hole.
No.
No.
So what is its purpose?
Sometimes things don't necessarily have a purpose that are obvious.
Yeah.
They're just cool.
Yeah. Maybe
They used
the
to have a
dangle.
fireman's pole, didn't they? And they used to jump down and slide down it, ready for
Yeah.
action.
No.
Yeah.
Templar. Maybe they hang somebody halfway in and then close it.
Yeah. This is Stargate. You haven't found the keys to activate it yet. And you just jump into it.
Maybe we need to rearrange the tiles on the roof.
Okay.
It just, I just can't get my head around the mechanism being so like it is, just to open a door that just goes down a level. Open it, yeah. How wide was it? Sorry, the trapdoor.
I would say there's probably a 2-foot gap all the way around it, so it takes up the majority of that floor.
Right.
Okay, it's bigger than I thought it would be.
Okay, I'm going to make a mental note of that. Something to look into.
Yeah,
And
I'll
then close
keep
it.
taking photos. So I'll take photos of the Templar symbols
Mm.
and the open mechanism and the control.
I'll also mention the tiles on the roof. Can you take some pictures of those as well?
Yeah.
They're worrying.
Did I miss something? What's on the tiles of the roof? Oh,
The
the
Star of David with the strengthening of flesh symbol.
Linked
Yeah,
to something that isn't of this world.
Right, I suppose maybe it's worth going up to 17.
We're up here. Why not?
Mm.
See, this is where this part takes off and flies off into space. Still thinking Stargate and the pyramids now.
Okay, climbing up to the next level. A giant grey animal comes and sits on my paperwork, so I can't see what I'm doing. And he'll bite. Come on, off my knee. Come on my knee. On my knee. Good boy. No, you don't have to go down there. Okay.
That just sounded wrong.
17. So you go up the stairs into here. This is each of the four, the four holes, if you like, in the four faces of the spire contain the back workings of the clock. In the middle is kind of the mechanism that drives that clock. There are a number of strange crystalline formations covering a big portion of the mechanisms, both inside and on the outside, yet the clock is still ticking and moving.
When you say crystalline, is it something that's been put on there for decoration, or
Doesn't appear to be decorative. It appears to have formed,
grown, or like when water drips and leaves like a residue of builds?
and there is a ladder that leads upward to a small hatch into what could well be the final part of the steeple.
Take a photo of the crystals as well, and then gently tap them with my knife. See whether
They
they're
sound
brittle or.
glass-like. They don't break. They do sound glass-like, though.
Okay. Are they naturally looking rather than shaped? So there's no cut. They're not cut
No
glass
cut.
type of thing. There's
there's no cut. They are natural forming.
any idea what the hell these are? You haven't got geology or
I have geology, but I mean I'm going to have a very close look. I'm gonna maybe take a knife out and.
I've got magnifying glass, so I'll hold that over it
Mm.
to see if it gives you any more clues.
Let me see if I break a bit off. This is what colour is it? Pinky. That's what I'm visualising.
Yeah,
I would say it's
visual.
more amber coloured, so yellowy,
Right.
and here and there bits of green.
Ooh.
They are naturally forming.
Look above
The
where they are.
You think the closest is it resembles a little bit like large quartz formations.
Right.
Anything above it, like it's dripped down to form this, or
Nothing that you can see. If this was Coriolis, it would be a Cadavaclaw.
yeah, I was thinking this is like a back guano from something really nasty up there.
Yeah.
Something that poos crystal.
Yeah,
Well, I suppose this is Lovecraft, isn't it? It could absolutely
Yeah.
be something that
There's
poos.
some weird shit out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a closer look with the magnifying glass as well, and I'll try to chip a piece off.
I'll step back just in case it's explosive.
Give me a point in geology spend,
Yeah.
and then just make a note of small piece of amber crystal from church in your inventory. But you have no clue what this is. It's like quartz, but you're not convinced it's quartz.
Right. Should we? Well, do you want to have a look at the last?
Yeah,
The
might as well.
last bit.
You clamber up the ladder to the final level. This is the base, the level that sits at the base of the steeple. The mullioned windows give you a really good view out over Brichester and the countryside beyond. As you stare out from the window, everything seems to go black for a moment.
So we know we're splattered on the floor.
You begin to hear, or possibly, well, first of all, you begin to feel a horrible vibration. Something that is not patterned in the way a man-made vibration would be. Accompanied by a shocking, muted whistling sound. Ralph. This sound assails your senses. But at the same time, although you've never heard it before, it does bring visions to your mind. So I can get a better description of what this might be. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to find a better reference. Damn it. The sound makes you feel like the thing that comes to your mind is you've read something about this strange sound occurring around rituals associated with something known as the angles of Tag Clatter. That's TAGH hyphen CLATUR.
These angles are not angels.
Angles, not angels.
Otherwise, Robbie Williams would be loving angles instead.
I'm loving angles. Yeah, can you imagine that? Ugh. That has all kinds of connotations, that does. I so let's say that's about it. You've read in passage a couple of occult books that mention the angles of Tag Plateau. You don't know what they are beyond that.
Okay.
But it does seem to suggest that this non-rhythmic vibration, shocking muted whistling often accompanies it, them, they, whatever it is.
Have a quick look around. Can I see anything,
Oh,
any movements or anything?
You're still staring through the window, as is everybody.
Right, okay.
Which
That's what I mean. Can I see any movements out there?
you can see darkness.
Just black, but it's daylight.
Every now and then, you see a speck of light come past you. Then these specks of light coalesce into one big flaming ball, trailing fire behind it. the darkness gives way to light. And you can see this ball of fire hurtling down. For a brief time, it glows even more, fire all around it. Then as that subsides, you can see green rushing towards the ball. It then crashes with a huge roar into the ground. Down, down it goes. 100 feet, more, hard to tell. It lay there dormant, and then gradually the whole area around it fills with water.
Kind of expected that.
And you're looking out over the street of Britchester.
See the prisoner landing.
The sounds that you could hear have faded.
So we all heard the sounds, but Ralph
all
kind of
heard the
recognised.
sound.
Okay.
Correct.
Strange.
Did anyone else just see a kind of vision of?
All of you saw it.
The meteor, yes.
Yeah.
It was very discombobulating.
Put me in mind of something. I'm trying to remember where we heard it. Didn't someone tell us that there was a meteor that fell into the lake?
Yes, they did. It was one of the, wasn't it one of the stories that we heard about the evil lord? And
Indeed, it
Yeah.
was.
I think we've just seen that story in a form of vision.
But so real.
As you all realise that, can I get a level 2 stability test from you, please? As always, you may spend points. Joseph passes. Alfred passes. Ralph passes. No, it can't be. Just your imagination playing up. You just all thought about it at the same time.
That sound was something. Trying to remember what it actually is. But it's known as the angles of Tag Plateau.
Strange name.
Sounds Italian.
And if anybody's got that card, I think it's a rare.
Yeah, it's a rare. And the card allows you to summon a lesser servitor.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Just out of interest, would this sound be kind of? I know what Ralph's saying about this right, but would it be something similar to like what you hear in an earthquake? That kind of disorientating noise and no.
So more No. Definitely not.
Right.
I don't even know if there's a way to really describe it.
Otherworldly.
Otherworldly, yeah. I mean, yeah. For sure, it would be otherworldly.
Now,
Like-
from what I've heard of the description, was there anything off about it? I can't remember when you went. Was there anything off about it?
No. There was nothing off about it.
Okay, look around this chamber. Are there any symbols in here?
None.
No growths of any kind, like crystals or
No growth.
fungus or.
No.
So that rules out hallucinogenic mushrooms that giving off spores down here or up here.
See, but
Look-
where's that crystal coming from on the clock, though? If there's nothing up here, and this is a new part of the church, you can understand growths and things on the old part of the church because it would be damp and moisture in the stone, creating a reaction. But up here where it's new and on something like the clock,
Look out the windows at the church from up here. Does anything look out of place, like
No.
because you have tentacles.
patterns that are forming from
No.
the tiles or anything?
No.
It's a spire inverted.
Unrelated.
Yes, we think we've been going up and
back
we've
in a
been going
minute.
down. Yeah.
I'll start climbing down
Okay.
the next floor. See if after that experience anything's changed.
No.
I'm going to close the hole in the floor.
You close the hole in the floor.
I was half expecting the crystal
that?
growth to have grown or something strange.
No. They're all exactly as they were.
I'm going to look out the window and make sure there's still only one sun in the sky.
There's only one sun in the sky.
I just wish I had the presence of mind to take photos of the comet. I wouldn't have been. It would have been a really weird. It's like take a look at it and I just look over the city. It's like that's not what I took photos of.
Yeah. But would it though? You never know. 'Cause
Yeah.
you did take a photo.
Yeah.
These tiles with the symbols on, are they easy to reach or?
Probably have to climb out. onto
No.
the room.
No, I don't think I'll do that today. After what I've just seen.
Look at them through the binoculars. Do they look like they were on the tiles originally when it was set, or they've been scratched on afterwards? How neat and right things.
They formed part of the tile. So
Right, okay.
whatever mold was used to create the tiles, that was in the mold.
Right, okay. So they were done at the time the roof was put
Yeah,
on,
but
rather than someone coming out and trying to.
I can't imagine these are the original tiles.
No, they're probably
Yeah.
probably from part of the new part
But-
of the spire.
Roughly how old would I guess the tiles are, if possible?
contemporary with the medieval, not the modern. There are modern tiles that look like they've painstakingly had the images replicated on them.
Oh, so these are the original tiles with the symbols on?
Yes.
Right. Bloody good tiles. I'd love to know who made them.
Hang on. So they're from the time of the Templar.
Mm.
So are you saying that the Templars worshipped Cthulhu?
Well, whoever made these tiles perhaps had something to do with that. Maybe it was, let's get our own back on the Templars and encase them in a tomb of Cthulhu.
Yeah, here's me thinking that the Templars were against it and trying to protect or imprison these things against it. And then there's some tiles that I would guess that are kind of in favour of it.
And
Contradiction.
And even the modern ones have been made to replicate the original ones.
Yeah.
And I mean, why would the cross? And we need to find out when the cross was inverted as well.
I wonder if there's any writings in the
Sorry
church.
about that.
Maybe.
Sorry.
I wonder if there's any writings in the church underneath it that might give us ideas of when renovations were made and some history of it.
Yeah, definitely worth looking at the library.
Cross was swapped.
Ralph, the tiles with the symbols in, the majority of them are the original ones, and anything that's been replaced has had the symbols put in there as well. So
okay.
the originally
so
cast.
From Templar time.
Yeah, the Templars or whoever crafted them and moulded that symbol into them.
And whoever's maintaining it is keeping up that tradition.
Yeah.
Could we tell when the latest ones had been put on?
Well, that's what I was going to check with the library and find out when the renovations were done.
Okay.
But is it a good thing? Is it something the Templars would do?
Are they protections against these things, or are they worshipping this thing, or even trying to attract them?
Or is it somebody putting a...
Well, the symbol means strengthen his body.
In whose body?
That's the question.
Right. So it's not a kind of sabotage of the Templar Church. It's like the cross being turned around. Somebody's taken time to do that.
Yes.
Let's see, there's a level below the church.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Are you going into the church sanctuary then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Head towards the altar and things and see if there's anything.
All right. Well, Mehdi has asked us to finish early tonight.
Okay.
So,
Sorry.
I think you come back down the stairs and you walk into the sanctuary proper of the church.
You all go wibble.
A few things.
Cliffhanger. There you go.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, we are. A few things strike you first and foremost. The stone of the sanctuary is older, worn with silent stories of untold care. The difference, to those of you with architecture, the difference in the age of the stones between the entrance, between the top of what you saw, the top spire, and the sanctuary is stark. The sanctuary predates even the lower medieval spire or medieval tower, which significantly predates the 1800s, early 1900s of the upper spire. The air is thick and still, filled with a kind of charnel musk. Mounded dust between the pews, some of the pews broken and slanted with age. piles of half-toppled hymnals squat against one of the arch pillars like grotesque huddled beings, long forsaken. This is not a church that sees a regular congregation. In fact, to Alfred's mind, this is a very, very sad, neglected, unloved church. At that point, as you start to move through the sanctuary towards the altar, we will call it an evening. As a reminder, I'm not here next week, so our next game will be by my diary. Come on, diary. The 7th of February.
6th.
6th of February. Yes, I'm looking at Tuesdays.
That's pay week, so I should be okay. But just to mention that.
You might be late.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Right. Quick question before we go on. The order of service that we saw when we came in, was it a recent thing that had been put up, or did it look like it'd been there forever? Just while it's still in my head.
It's relatively recent. There's no date on it. There's just days and times.
But it's not.
Faded.
Yeah. Right. It's not looking like it's medieval or something silly like that. It's modern days.
The last
year. Longer. Yeah.
Longer than a year. If you went back outside to investigate, you'll find that the darkened varnish that they've put on the wood plaque where they've carved it is all peeling and fading.
Right. Okay.
So it could be 10, could be 5, could be 10, could be 20 years old.
Right. Okay. It's not. Okay. Yeah, we haven't gone Wibble yet.
No.
Yeah. I'm getting there.
Yeah. Oh, you are getting there. You are definitely getting there.
I was going to say, we're starting to see visions and things. I've seen 2 tonight, effectively, with sketching and that. You've both seen 1.
Yeah, I think we should go camping on the island and think about it and talk about it.
Yeah, and Joseph can have the visions there.
Yeah.
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 Oh dear.
Maybe you can find some younger English Rose to take on a date there.
Yeah. Not had as much fun like this apart from the Nightfire Club or the Hellfire Club in New York.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for tonight, guys, and sorry for cutting it short.
No, that's fine.
Oh, I've made Rage up in Pathfinder 2 at first level, by the way.
Oh.
So
yeah,
I will advance him.
I'll be picking it up at not this weekend, the next weekend, Pathfinder 2. But I'll do a Medistra. But
I've also signed up for Pathfinder Nexus, their version of, because it's in closed alpha at the moment. So I signed up for that, see whether I can get into that to see what that's going to be like. That's their version of D&D Beyond, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
There isn't a warlock in Pathfinder 2. So I think the closest you can get is